All right, let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams, of course, heading into wild card weekend, winning the division NFC West, overcoming that 1-4 start. Big time matchup, obviously, against the Minnesota Vikings, but lost in the hustle and bustle of the playoffs quickly approaching in a weekend of football was one of the gutsiest moves I've seen any team, any coaching staff pull off in a very long time. Has a chance to be one of the smartest moves of the year. We'll break down exactly what the Rams did. But first, I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, this Rams team, everyone watching and following the way this weekend's games played out, sat most of their starters, of course, going with Jimmy Garoppolo. They end up falling to the Seattle Seahawks in close one, 30-25. A lot of people really questioned the move at the time. It's like, why would you literally intentionally sacrifice your seeding, move from the 3 seed most likely to the 4 seed, and that would lead you to a matchup then of the loser of the Lions Vikings game. Two teams that would, whoever lost that game would have 14 wins, the most wins any wild card team has ever had. Why would you, as a team, literally sign up to be matched up against a 14-win team in the opening round of the playoffs? That's essentially what the Rams and Sean McVay signed up for. In fact, if you haven't already, Miles, let's throw up here the just the playoff bracket so everyone can see it, just for reference there on the screen. But here's where this really gutsy move I think has a chance to be absolutely genius. We all fall in love with records and seeding and stuff like that, but the postseason really comes down to 3 factors. One, does your team have stars? There are some teams that get in the playoffs that just have a magical year. They don't have the stars. They get knocked out pretty quickly. Number 2, quarterback. Which of these 2 teams in these matchups has the quarterback advantage? And number 3, coach. That's it. That's what it comes down to, right? Home, away, seeding. It doesn't matter nearly as much as people think it does. It matters those 3 things. Do you have stars? How good is your quarterback compared to the other guy? How good is your coaching compared to the other guy? If you look at stars, look, no matter who the Rams were going to play, they're going to have stars. The NFC has a lot of star power right now in terms of the top contenders. But let's focus on the quarterbacks here for a second. So in this situation, what the Rams did is they essentially sacrificed moving to the 4 seed and said, okay, we're going to move to the 4 seed and we're either going to play Sam Darnold or we're going to play Jared Goff, a quarterback we are obviously intimately familiar with. And the Rams and Sean McVay decided we don't care about the wins. We don't care that one of these teams is going to have 14 wins, either Lions with Goff, Vikings with Sam Darnold. We like that quarterback matchup. Obviously, both those teams have good coaching staffs. So what it came down to here is that the Rams made one of the gutsiest moves I've ever seen. They said, we are playing to win a playoff game at home because we think we are going to have the advantage at quarterback, whether we play the Lions or the Vikings. It is a bold move. It is an incredibly aggressive move. A lot of people said, why not try and play with the Commanders, right, and see what happens with Jane Daniels? The reality is still not a lot of film on Daniels. We don't know exactly how he'll perform in the playoffs. He's an athletic guy. Sean McVay said, the devil, the devil I know, Jared Goff or Sam Darnold, is much better than the devil I don't. Even though their records and their teams are much more talented than Washington, this is one of the gutsiest decisions I've ever seen. But if the Rams pull it off, it may be the most bold move and smartest move I've ever seen. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all of this. And before I lose my voice trying to talk about it, Rams fans in the comment section below, give me your prediction. Final score of this playoff game, Rams Vikings. Want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. But Miles, before I hit the cough button, what are your thoughts on just this entire decision here by the Rams?
Yeah, Nick, I think I know what the final score is going to be. It would be somewhere around the tune of a 30-20 victory by the Rams because they already played each other this year. That's the other thing. This is a Rams team coming into this game. They've played both the options here already when it comes to the Lions, when it comes to the Vikings. They're able to dominate the Vikings, score 30 on them. They know what this team's all about. We've talked about it a couple times this year. We don't cover the Vikings too closely, but we've said it. They're a little bit of a pretender when it comes to playing big time teams. I don't think that the Vikings, Sam Darnold, I don't think it's a magical season, like you said. They do have stars, but I don't think the quarterback of Sam Darnold is the guy to get you down the stretch. I think Matt Stafford, much better quarterback there. So I think that's a really great matchup position they do here. But if it would have gone the other way, let's say if somehow the Vikings found it in their hearts to be a much better team and were able to beat the Lions, because we saw the performance they put up against the Lions. Not very good. And that was a very, very, very beat up Lions defense. Probably as beat up as anyone's going to see it. It was not a good performance. So that in itself, great call from the Rams to be able to go up against that Viking squad that only put up 9 points on the Lions. Look at the Lions now. What if that was the case? Well, they've already played them too, and it was a really, really close matchup week 1, 20-26. And I'll say this, that was probably the healthiest that the Lions have been all year, and the healthiest they will be all year. Lions decimated by injury. Some of those guys maybe come back. Aiden O'Connell, none of those guys are going to be back in time really for this big time game, coming up for the wild card round for this Ram squad. So I just think overall, good decision either way. They really felt like they knew those two teams. They knew what everything was going on. And I think those are the teams that they match up the best against. 2 close games, 1 win, 1 loss. Really smart decision by the Rams.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that the playoffs are much more about matchups than anything else, right? Again, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. People fall in love with seeding. Who's the 2 seed? Who's the 4 seed? Is that an advantage? They get an extra home game. But yeah, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. If you don't get the bye, which is a big advantage, of course, it really doesn't matter so much as what are the matchups? Does your quarterback better than the other guy? Does your coach have a good plan? Do you have the stars to balance out the other team's stars? And this is a situation where the Rams believe correctly that depending on the outcome of the Vikings-Lions game, whoever was defeated, they like their matchup. You brought up the performances earlier in the season. That's another great data point. And this is, again, it's a gutsy move. A lot of people in the media they're either confused or very critical of Sean McVay. I think it was a bold move, and I think it is a chance to be one of the smartest roster decisions. Again, giving his team an artificial bye ahead of a matchup he prefers. Beautiful job here by Sean McVay.